Dobra, doczekaliśmy się tego, co dla nas najważniejsze praktycznie na Blizzconie i z Blizzconu, czyli mianowicie doczekaliśmy się odcinka z panelu dyskusyjnego i panelu tematycznego Diablo 4, w którym się dowiemy, co nowego, jakie zmiany i co nowego w Diablo 4, nie?
And I do also want to give a huge call out to this amazing plush campfire that we did bring in for this. I joked it's got very soft lighting. There we go, first fun of the day. We're doing well. But to kick off activities, I know the dev team, they do actually have some news to follow up regarding yesterday's announcements. So let me actually pass it off to the team. So, Brent?
Yeah, we're really excited to show the sneak peek for the next chapter of Hatred. We've been on pins and needles to share some of the information from the expansion for a very long time, and it's going to be taking us to a brand new place. And it's really cool because it's actually in contrast to that dark gothic setting that we're used to seeing in the main game. We're going to go to some place that has a bit of a different flavor. So for those of you who are new to the franchise, it's going to be new, it's going to be fresh. But for some of you who have been with us all along, we're going to go take a trip down memory lane and actually go to a place that's a little nostalgic.
I chyba zapowiada, no ja tu nie będę spoilerował wam, ale chyba zapowiedzą to, co wczoraj czytałem na... Wczoraj czytałem na informacji na telefonie. Jeśli tak, to teraz będziecie mieli potwierdzone info przeze mnie, zweryfikowane dwuetapowo, ale zobaczymy, jeszcze nic nie mówię, bo chcę to zweryfikować jeszcze raz. Weźmiemy sobie demko. Vessel of the Hearted. Tak? Tak, czyli mamy zweryfikowane w tym momencie to przeze mnie podwójnie dwuetapowo, bo już wczoraj był przeciek informacji do neta i czytałem to na telefonie. Czyli w 2024 roku dostaniemy oficjalny dodatek do Diablo 4. Vessel of Hatred. Vessel of Hatred. I wyjdzie pod koniec 2024 roku ten dodatek, oficjalny Vessel of Hatred. Dostaniemy nowe potwory, nowe klasy.
In a really nice way. And I've been joking for a little bit about how this is kind of like making a really good burger, right? You want to make sure that you're pulling in all of the ingredients that you need so that when they all come together and you take one big bite, all those flavors are working together. And so for us, that cohesiveness is really important.
So you say burger, there are a lot of variations of burgers. There's like single burgers or like maybe a double from In-N-Out or something like that.
I'm hungry now.
Możliwe, że wrócą te legendarne itemy z burgerami.
So what kind of burger is this?
That's a good question. You know, I guess I look at it as kind of like a bacon barbecue burger with all the classic ingredients, but with like jalapenos, right? Like throw something in that's a little bit spicy, a little bit different.
And so a little bit green.
And a little bit green? That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. So yeah, we want to make sure that we have all the nice traditional
ingredients. Wróci ten item taki tradycyjny, ale troszeczkę z innymi składnikami.
Well, I know with Vessel of Hatred, a new expansion, there's going to be some story and lore kind of attached to it. And let's kind of talk a little bit more about the story. What do you think, Tiffany?
Yeah, so when we last left off in the main campaign, nymero1 was traveling south with the stone with Mephisto. He got himself trapped in there again.
Tu będzie historia i kampania do przechodzenia z Diablo 2, nawiązanie do Mephista, moi drodzy. Doczekaliśmy się, w końcu będzie Mephisto. Brakowało go. Powróci Mephisto.
Ale something the Haradrim have always famously failed at. So for players that might be jumping into Diablo 4 for the first time with the Vessel of Hatred, they'll have the choice to either play through the main campaign or jump directly into the new chapter. There will be a recap in the game, so you'll have full context to all the events of Sanctuary that played out in the main campaign.
Będzie można
So
pominąć
don't worry,
kampanię
you
albo
won't
wskoczyć
miss
do
out on
kampanii
anything if you want to just
ponownie.
see what's happening with
Tak
Nymero
jakby,
and explore those
ten
jungles.
sam mechanizm będzie co w Diablo 4 po prostu, w podstawce.
All right, I love this picture. He's real creepy. It looks like he's coming out of a mud bath of sorts. So this is Mephisto. Now he is my favorite prime evil. I think he's just a badass. If you don't know who he is the Lord of Hatred, and he is the father of Lilith. So I believe that makes him
Granddaddy Mephisto.
Granddaddy of Sanctuary.
Grandfisto?
Grandfisto.
Something like that. Yeah.
Sounds grouchy too.
Yep. So Mephisto did not intend to be trapped in the stone. Like I said, they're very bad at that. It tends to happen. So as you heard in the trailer, every step of the way that Nyrel is taking with him, he is pushing against her, constantly trying to unravel every single moment that they have together. It's in this next chapter in Vessel of Hatred, we're going to find out what is his fate with this stone and what's going to happen with Nyrel.
Yeah, so with Vessel of Hatred,
I dowiemy się, co się stało z Nyrel w tym dodatku, ale jaja.
It's going to be taking us to a new place. I know you guys have actually mentioned
Dużo nowych
Nahantu.
miejsc będzie
Can
i
you
tak
tell us a little
dalej.
bit more about Nahantu?
A już mi się podoba,
Yeah,
nie?
so we're going to a whole new region called Nahantu. Now, for those of you guys who
Cały
know
nowy region.
the history of Sanctuary, you know that heading south actually means going to Torjan. When we started off with the expansion, we decided as a team to really think about how we're referencing cultures moving forward. And for those of you who may not know, the Torjan people are a real people. And they're an amazing culture. They have beautiful traditions.
Torjan
Totally look it
people,
up.
czyli dostajemy jakiś lud Torjan people, który jest inspirowany prawdziwym ludem, który jest normalnie gdzieś tam żyje na ziemi, czyli zainspirowali się jakimś prawdziwym ludem i prawdziwą ludnością, która gdzieś jest na ziemi żyje.
So those of the people who are outside of the region, maybe you were from the dry steppes, you know this place as Torjan. But the people who are there know it as Nahantu. And so you're going to see that folded into the story in some really creative ways to give that name some power.
Awesome. I know we have a lot of cool art to actually show. Like right here, we're seeing kind of what looks to be like a river gate.
Yes. So everything starts here at the river gate. We look at Nahantu as a place that's been closed off from Sanctuary. It's been closed off from all the things that have been going on with Lilith over the last several moments of our story. And so you can imagine this monolithic statue where the doors have been closed for the last several decades, and now they're open. And we're going to see what happens with Nyrel as she passes through these gates. If you look at this next image, we like to look at the jungle as this place that is a wild and dangerous place. We also love the idea that it's a living, breathing character of its own. It has its own personality. It expresses itself in different ways throughout the game. And so this concept is a really good example of where things from the outside may have come in, but the jungle's going to reclaim it, right? So you're going to see these branches pulling back some of the architecture that you would see through the region. But for the things that have been there all along, it's going to live symbiotically with. And so you can watch the river flow through the structures of the area as well.
You know what? This is actually one of my favorite concept pieces that we've made for the expansion so far. Because even though it's an environmental scene, it really just shows the depth and scale of the jungle, which is not really like a place we've ever gone to before within Diablo 4 so far. And it really inspired the team as well when they saw it. Just that feeling of like scale and age, I guess, is a good way to describe it.
The idea that these roots are so old that they stretch across the chasms in the area. You can see there's a very small character in the middle of that branch.
Very hard to see.
It creates a sense of scale that allows us to do a lot with the environment, right? So it's not just trees in the area. These trees are actually fixtures or structures of the place as well.
You know, we've seen a lot of environments, and I know there's a lot of also architecture here in the haunt too. So can you show us a little bit more about that as well?
Yeah, so this is a great image that starts to show how we wanted to integrate a lot of the natural features of the world in with the architecture. And so you can see how the river is flowing with and around this piece right here. All of this starts from a place called Kurast. So for those of you who've been with us for a while, Kurast is an iconic place that sits in the heart of the jungle. And it's not just a town, it's not just a capital, it's a sprawling city. So you can imagine a lot of these structural elements popping up all over the place, spreading across the entire jungle.
Czyli to jest część mapy i miasta, którzy większość ludzi, którzy znają, siedzą w niej, w Diablo, będą kojarzyć i znać.
This is a perfect example on how we're folding in
No i faktycznie kojarzy mi się to z perfidnie, ewidentnie Diablo 2,
I gotta
tylko
give a huge shout
przebudowane.
out to the team. The level of detail that we put into this is absolutely incredible. They pay attention to our environments just as much as one of our characters. So all the detail that we put into Lilith or Inarius is the same amount of detail as you would see in a piece like this. So big shout out to the team for what they can do.
Yeah.
No, brawa dla nich.
So I know you shared a little bit about like Kurast, and you know, it's a very recognizable place, like or in the Diablo history. Like, can you get into a little bit more detail for us of like some of these maybe recognizable places that we'll kind of come across?
Yeah, I love to talk about these next few concepts here. So I was a big player of Diablo 2 myself, so you may recognize some of these places. We keep talking about bringing you back somewhere nostalgic. So we're going to start with the dock towns. So you can visit the original Kurast docks from D2 in Act 3. And through time, it's changed. It's been 72
akcie trzecim będziemy mieli możliwość odwiedzenia oryginalnego Kara z Diablo 2.
So I'm excited to jump in there and see what the denizens have been up to, see if there's anybody that's still around from the past 72 years. And like Brent and Kaylee were saying earlier, a concept piece like this really gives me this incredible sense of scale in the world of Sanctuary, and I'm super excited to explore areas like that. We know that locations like this really set the tone for successfully delivering on that nostalgia and embracing that legacy of the Diablo universe. So the capital Kurast is something that we've always wanted to know more about. So this is a clip that's actually from the teaser that we've showed you a couple times now. And this is that incredible ziggurat with really, really creepy Grandpa Mephisto talking over it. So we've always wanted to know what's under the ziggurat. What's amazing about this is that for the dev team, this is one of the earliest sources of inspiration when we started working on the expansion. And so seeing it make all the way from original concept into the actual teaser that we showed this weekend is really exciting. So we've got one more really, really cool place to show you. So this is the temple city of Travancore, and it's where the Horadrim originally imprisoned Mephisto in his soul stone. It's deep inside Kurast, and I am so excited
Będzie
to go
pokazane
there
też
and
tutaj
see
oryginalne
what's
więzienie
happening.
Horadrimów,
Joe, what do you think?
gdzie został więziony
I hope I don't
Mephisto.
get slowed by hostile blizzards again. but it's going to be really cool to dive under Travancore and sort of revisit that area. It's such a memorable area.
No i wróci miasto Travincal.
Travancore was super memorable. Act 3, everyone remembering as they're fighting the council there.
Super.
So it's great that we can revisit that here in Vessel of Hatred.
No ja coś czuję,
Of
że
course,
mam
big
takie
question I
dziwne
know that
przeczucie
people
przez
have with
kości,
Vessel
że
of
nieważne
Hatred,
ile ten
does that
dodatek
mean
będzie
a new
kosztował,
class is
ale ja
coming?
ten dodatek kupię, nie?
Brent, do you have any more info that you can share?
I'm sure a few of you have been on Reddit asking questions about the new class. It's the #1 question we've been getting all week. You know, when we started off,
Teraz
we were
dostaniemy
still
może
making
szcząpek
the main
informacji,
game. And I'm
czy
really
pokaz
proud
albo
of the fact
cokolwiek
that we
innego,
delivered 5
jaka nowa
classes
klasa
of
wleci z
classes,
dodatkiem.
Right, we got that great feeling of all of them spread around the campfire. It felt really, really
To jest
good.
pytanie,
So
które jest najczęściej
when we're
zadawane
talking
na
about the
pierwszym miejscu.
expansion, we had a decision to make. We're kind of at a crossroads of, do we do another classic, or do we do something new? And the team really thought about it hard, and we felt we have a responsibility to actually bring new things to Sanctuary. Like, this game is really big, this world is very big, we need to continue to broaden it, and so we made the choice to go with something new.
So you're saying new here. And we're seeing a lot of jungle environments, obviously.
Yes.
So does that for sure rules out something like the Witch Doctor?
Yes, that for sure rules
Yeah,
out.
it's absolutely a brand new class. It is not the Witch Doctor.
All right.
Aha, czyli
We've
nie
been hearing
będzie
a lot of like,
Witch,
it might
Witch
still be the
Doktora,
Witch
czyli nie
Doctor.
będzie
I'm pretty
szamana
sure we said
w tym
new
dodatku.
class. So awesome. That was great that we got to see kind of like
Czyli już,
get a little bit
zobaczcie,
more
już wam
information
w tym
about
odcinku
Diablo 4
dementuję
Vessel of
to, że
Hatred.
będzie
Again,
Witch
Diablo 4
Doktor,
Vessel of Hatred
czyli
is
szaman.
coming
Nie,
out
nie będzie Witch
late
Doktora,
2024. We'll actually
czyli nie
have
będzie
more news
szamana
next
w tym
summer
dodatku.
about Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred. Green.
Green.
Great.
Going green.
I'm glad you're color coordinated for this, Brent. So, but we do want to talk more about some of the other items that we talked about in the opening ceremony yesterday. And so, Joe, I know, wants to talk a little bit about season 2 and what's coming forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we've had, as I said here earlier when I welcomed all of you, we've had so much community feedback, and it's been incredible for us to be able to release season 2 and bring a lot of those changes to you. And I think we have a roadmap here. You can see here that on the Season of Blood, some of the things that we brought with Season of Blood. If you haven't played since launch or since Season 1, you'll be able to check out the new boss ladder, leveling, 40% faster leveling, right? The changes, thank you. That was all me, no. We have an incredibly talented team of system designers who care deeply about the player experience and the feeling of movement through the levels and being able to capture the objective of reaching level 100, right? And so that change was something that we thought was really important for Season 2. But we also changed things like the way that item power scales, right? So that as you fight more difficult monsters, you can get more powerful loot, including some of those uber uniques from Durio.
Mocniejsze luty,
And so many other
itemach
quality of life
poprawili moc
changes.
itemów.
The mount, I think, is transformed. And, that's not all we have in store for Season 2. Like we were talking about in the opening ceremonies, we made some announcements, and we want to get into more detail about those here today. And a little bit of a sneak peek at, you can see here, Season of, I'm going to say the orange text.
Yes, that's definitely a final name.
Yeah.
Final
Ship
name. No, we're not quite ready to release the season name, but we have a sneak peek of one of the features coming with leaderboards and the gauntlets. So we're really excited to talk about those. Let's jump into it.
Yeah, so we're going to kick things off with some updates to Season 2 that are coming really, really soon. Literally this coming Tuesday, November 7th, we are going to be adding new unique rings, which were called the Malignant Rings. Developing Seasons is an opportunity for us to
Niedługo
look
dodadzą
for
nowe
ways to
unikatowe
bring things back
pierścienie.
that you, our players, really
November
enjoyed and
7.
really engaged with. It doesn't mean that we'll bring things back from every season, but we will look for opportunities, especially when the community is letting us know how much they enjoyed it, and also we also had a lot of fun with these. This also is an opportunity for us to kind of revisit those powers, because these are coming not just onto the season, but also to the Eternal realm. So these powers you're about to see on these rings, we've tweaked them slightly so that they work with the other uniques in the game, but we feel they're really going to add something for each class and kind of complete continue on building their kit and that fantasy. You're going to be able to get these by defeating Varshan, so I hope everyone's been saving their materials. You do have a little bit of time to farm more if you didn't.
Bossa Warszana.
So yeah, with that said, we're actually going to move to the next image, and we're going to take a look at these. So I originally was going to talk to Brent about his rogue, but when we started doing this, he saw the barbarian ring and switched on me.
I'm sorry.
But so for our rogues out there, for those of you, if use your subterfuge skills. It's going to spawn a decoy. It's going to taunt enemies, and then it's going to explode for a really nice amount of damage. Think you're going to have a lot of fun. Adam, this is for you and the rest of the sorcerers out there.
Yes, Ball Lightning crew. Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe this will, you'll try something a little different than just ball lightning. For the sorcerer, each unique element that you deal damage with is going to give you increased damage, and then dealing elemental damage again is just going to repress that duration. So sling fireballs, lightning,
Czyli te pierścionki
lightning ball as
będą
well,
leciały
like,
z Arszany
increasing that
zaraźliwej, tego
we
World
have 3
Bossa,
more
i można
classes
je
to take
oba
a look
nosić
at.
ze sobą i one ze sobą oba będą
So
kompilowały,
next up now is the
razem ze sobą
barbarian.
współgrały,
So
zupełniały
for our
swoje moce, ale
barbarians
jaja.
out there,
A
when
z tego
you
co czytam, to
use,
będą miały
there you
konkretne
are,
pasywy.
you're out there somewhere. When you next cast Hammer of the Ancients, Upheaval, or Death Blow, it's guaranteed to be a crit, and that crit's going to deal bonus critical strike damage as well. Exactly, so hit them hard and hit them often, guys. And I definitely know there's a few druids out there, you guys who don't want to forget about you. Exactly.
Oh, Druid's got the loudest crowd
I
here.
know.
Yeah.
Represent druids. So for druids, when you are casting your ultimate skill, it is going to draw enemies in and deal a huge amount of damage based on your willpower. It will do that when you cast your ultimate and then 5 seconds after. And then lastly, the Necromancer.
Necromancers, rise up! That's right.
There's actually 3 Necromancers up here because 3 of us are playing it this season. Total coincidence. So
What
we all
the
love this
fuck,
power. We
ale
know everybody
pierścień
else
będzie dla
loves this. So
nekromanców,
we are
no nie
bringing back
wierzę.
the walking near your corpses.
No wiecie, to
It's
trzeba
gonna
będzie upolować tego World
automatically
Bossa, nie?
activate one of the following skills, which is Corpse Tendrils, Corpse Explosion, or Raised Skeleton. So yeah, that is that's going to be the Malignant Rings, and as we said, you're going to be able to get them from Killing Varshan starting on November 7th. So next week, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kaylee. And again, we're super excited about bringing in these malignant powers from season 1. Thanks to community feedback and you guys actually wanting these powers back in, we were able to get these in these new rings that will be coming out on Tuesday. And again, patch notes actually are going to be available on Diablo4.com for that patch immediately after this panel, so you guys can actually see what's in that update for players on Tuesday, which is awesome to see. So. But we do also have some more information to talk about.
Even more
yes,
stuff. So
we have some more events taking place in early December. Haley is going to jump right in.
I'll kick us off. Yeah, December 5th is our next update for Season 2. And we've got some additional updates coming in, some quality of life things, and then something Joe is going to talk about. But I'm going to talk about some additional changes to the Occultist. Chris mentioned this yesterday in opening ceremony. So for those of you who may not know, enchanting is what allows you to replace an affix on an item with another. And those that are familiar with it will notice when you go and visit from December 5th, there is a new view affix, possible affixes button. I can't remember it. Yeah, view possible affixes. And when you click on that, it's going to give you a list of the affixes that one could roll into. So that way you're not kind of just blindly guessing and hoping that the one you've picked is going to give you. We think this update, along with the gold changes we have made, is really going to help everybody optimize their builds and continue to have fun in the end game. We have also heard feedback about affixes and how some of them aren't serving you in the ways you want. We do have plans to talk about both changes to affixes and itemization in the future, but we're not quite ready to talk about it right now.
Yeah, that's right. This is a really important change, and itemization is one of the itemization and endgame are the 2 things that we're laser focused on right now. We're going to talk a little bit more about that right up here next with Avatar Zir.
Yeah, and you know, it's awesome to see these occultist changes because obviously community feedback has been, we've heard you guys like that it, you know, blindly choosing different affixes has been very, very difficult, but with the changes with the cost plus this will be much better, and this update, of course, hitting on December 5th. But other feedback that we've heard a lot about, and Joe knows this as well, has been about endgame. And so I know you wanted to talk a little bit about a new kind of endgame feature that's coming in Season 2. So Joe, yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, so we want to add more endgame, and then we want to add some more endgame, and then...
Some more?
We're going to add more endgame.
Yeah, we're going to add some more after that.
Right.
Okay,
right.
yeah.
And in particular, permanent or evergreen endgame features that extend the challenges and reward opportunities from 50 to 100 and after you've reached 100. And so Avatar of Zir is a 100 plus new thing that we're trying here. This is a seasonal endgame event. So it's temporary, and we're really interested in paying attention to how all of you run through it and your feedback on it to for the future of, maybe we'll bring it back. We'll see how it goes. But you probably want to know more about it than just staring at this red portal, right? We have a chart that used to be on a napkin, but
it's very beautiful.
This is when you work with a bunch of designers, they like to make these little flow charts, and then they hand them to you on a napkin, and they go, "Can you make them pretty so we can show them to people?" So, designer flow charts.
Paint for life. So you can see here how the flow of Avatar of Zero will work. After you complete the final step of the season journey, you'll be ready to face off against the Avatar. And this is a very, very difficult area. You're going to need to bring all of your skill, but also you're going to need to bring the very best builds. Not every build is going to be able to succeed in Avatar Zero. And that's why it's positioned like after you've really you've defeated Echo of Lilith, you've defeated Duriel, you've got your Uber Uniques, and you're like, what's next? What's the next challenge, right? And the Avatar is meant to be that. So you're going to get a recipe for the first tier of Avatar Zero. When you complete that first tier, you're going to get a recipe for the next tier. And I want to state that there are 25 tiers of Avatar Zero. And that's fewer tiers than there are of Nightmare Dungeons. But each tier of the Avatar is much more difficult than the tier before. This is not the same as Nightmare Dungeon 70 to 71. And you're also going to get a ton of Paragon Glyph XP. So I know some people have expressed that it can be hard to level up all your glyphs through Nightmare Dungeons. That you're going to get so much from this event. And you're going to need it because you're going to want to level up this new unique glyph that you can get as a reward for completing the Avatar. This glyph, the Tears of Blood, is tied to the event and is also persists during the duration of the event. But it will be incredibly useful for increasing your character power so that you can take on those tougher tiers of the Avatar. You can see that it has a larger radius than other glyphs. It can grow even beyond that. It has multiplicative powers on it, and it can be leveled up to 200 times. So it is still a capped level, but it has a lot of progression in it.
Awesome. Lots of stuff coming here. December 5th. We got the Occultist updates and Avatar Zero, which is the end game that we just talked about that. And that will run through the end of Season 2. So players can expect, to be able to go through that starting on December 5th, which is great to hear. But we also have even more events in December that we do want to talk about. One that's a little bit more festive. We mentioned it yesterday. Kaylee, I know you want to talk a little bit about Midwinter Blight.
Yeah, so for everyone that doesn't live in California, this time of year can be darkening and colder. You might get snow, lots of rain.
Like where I'm from.
Yeah, where you're from, basically. You're going to need the winter clothing. As you return to Fractured Peaks on December 12th, where the Midwinter Blight is taking place. As you return, you're going to find that it's been enveloped in a storm. It's freezing out the locals. It's eternally dark, and there are new horrors lurking, waiting to, make your lives and the inhabitants miserable. So yeah, I hope you brought some ice scrapers with you. Maybe help us out here.
Yeah, we're working on a special Diablo ice scraper. Reaching out to John Mueller to see if we can get that marketed.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So it's going to start in Kyovashad, and you're going to meet Gillian, a wandering bard, and he's here to try and bring some cheer and warmth, which you can see in the video as we go to that. And he is located in the Hibernal Square, and he's giving as well a warning of the storm and the terrors lurking within. And as you can see, this is a classic Diablo holiday space, decorated mostly in skulls, which we find very festive on the team, personally. Yes, and at its center we have the Totem of Midwinter, which plays a part in the event itself, but I'm not going to spoil that. We'll kind of go into that. So what's happening outside Kyovashad? You're going to head back out into Fractured Peaks, you're going to explore the zone, and you're going to encounter some sinister snowmen, or what demons consider snowmen, that we're calling frigid husks, which Yes, they're beautiful.
That's very beautiful. I will note, and I don't actually know if Rod Ferguson, our GM, is here. He is making me insert this wonderful pun.
It's all Rod.
He was like, as soon as he saw him, so Rod Ferguson, trademark pun, Frosty the Goat Man is what he likes to call these.
I thought you were
yes.
meant to sing that.
Yeah, you know.
No, we're not going to. Okay, no, we're nixing the singing. No singing. Okay. All right, so who's building these? I mentioned demons, so you're going to see some familiar faces, but they're under a new allegiance. These blight fiends have new tricks, new ways to terrorize and harass both you and the locals. And they're just generally causing mischief and terror under the orders of their leader, who is the Red-Cloaked Horror. He lives in the darkest corners of Fractured Peaks, emerging only with the storm. And he is going to, you know, be really, really mad at anyone disrupting his plans, and he's going to try and make you dead. I think he looks really jolly, personally. I'm a big fan.
Again, another Rod Ferguson pun.
Here we go.
And this one I will sing.
Oh,
I will.
Okay.
Rudy the Red Cloaked Terror.
Oh, God.
There we go. All right.
Oh.
Just leaving now. We're done.
He doesn't even have a nose.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I know. Rod has the worst puns. We know that.
Okay,
So.
all right. So what are you going to be doing? You're going to be heading out into Fractured Peaks. So we're going to bring up a video of some of the kind of gameplay a little bit here. You're going to encounter the Blight Fiends, having a really jolly time.
They are
There they
cute.
are. They are.
This is the cutest little one.
Yeah. Well, we're going to ruin their
you murder
day.
them.
Yes, exactly.
Snow globe of people.
Murder, destroy those snowmen. And you're going to engage in a number of events that are unique to Midwinter Blight, destroy Frigid Husk, defeat the Blight Fiends. And if you disrupt things enough, you may end up summoning the Red-Cloaked Horror himself, who's, as I said, very annoyed at you. And participating in these is going to give you resources that you can take back to the Hibernal Square to progress the events. And,
And some rewards.
Right, the rewards, because what's a festive event without presents and gifts and, you know, things in general. So we have a number of new cosmetic rewards that you'll be able to earn through participating on the event itself. So these are selection of weapons, and then we also have some really cool back trophies. I really like them. They've got bells, and there's some wreaths and lots of skulls, because we do like that here. We have a theme, and we're going to stick to it. So this starts on December 12th. Really hope everyone comes and slays with us.
There we
December,
go.
December.
Got
Again,
money.
we fun.
There we go. Yeah, I did it.
They clap for it. Good.
No, I was not expecting that, actually. But yeah, so that's Midwinter Blight.
Awesome. It's great to hear more information about all these updates coming in. And Midwinter Blight's great because community feedback has been, we've heard a lot of people wanting more cosmetic options. And so now you have the ability of actually unlocking some skulls, some bells, some holly that you can actually incorporate to your character with Midwinter Blight. But all this information is going to be available again on a blog on Diablo4.com after the panel. And we're looking forward to getting all these updates in everyone's hands for Abattoir Azir, the Occultist updates, and of course Midwinter Blight. But moving on, we do have additional information to talk about Season of the Orange Text, as you called it.
That's right.
Joe. So Joe, can you tell us a little bit more about what's coming there?
Yeah, so more endgame.
More in-game.
Yeah. This is such a cool piece. This is relevant to the season, and I'm excited to
Tutaj
find
dowiemy
out,
się, co
what
zostanie
happens
w
with this guy.
sezonie
But,
trzecim.
I want to talk a little bit about one part of season 3, and there will be many more parts of season 3. We're going to talk about these more in future campfire chats, but we wanted to talk a little bit about leaderboards, leaderboard-driven trials.
He wants it.
This guy wants it, and so we're going to make it.
Thanks, guy.
We weren't going to make it, but. And so the way this is going to work is when season 3
Tygodniowe
players reach World Tier 4,
dungeony,
they're going to be able
wyzwania
to
do
compete
sobie.
in the Gauntlet, which is a fixed seed, non-linear dungeon where your mastery and your skill are going to be needed to achieve the highest scores. And those best scores are going to appear on the
A
leaderboard.
tylko dla tych, którzy będą mieli największe
Now,
osiągnięcia i
every time you
największe
enter the gauntlet, it's going to be exactly the same. That means the monsters
skory
and their
wbite
positions,
w
the
tablicy
layouts, the affixes.
laderowej,
And because
rankingowej.
it's non-linear, you have some choices about how you're going to progress through to maximize your score. And of course, if you're playing in a party, you can choose like which direction each party member is going to go, and you really have an opportunity to optimize it. Loot will drop at the end of the timer, so you don't have to worry about picking it up on the way. And as you're killing monsters and you're opening chests, you're going to get instead these pickups called proofs of might. They drop from all of this types of content, and you'll have a limited amount of time to collect as many as possible to maximize your score. So at the beginning of each week, a new gauntlet is going to replace the current one, and the leaderboards will reset.
Czyli każdego tygodnia
Now,
będzie zaczynał się nowy
this is an image
leaderboard
of
i
the
będzie
solo
nowy
barbarian
reset.
ladder. We can see here. I want to caution that it is in development content, so some things may change by the time we get to season 3. But we wanted to show off to
Czyli
really
będzie
give
to samo co do Diablo
all of
3
you
i
an idea, a
i dwa
visual
wprowadzone.
idea of
Leaderboard
like
po prostu.
how this is going to play out. And you can also see on this next image that we have a number of filters. So there are solo leaderboards for each class, as well as party leaderboards that
Będzie
vary with party size.
solo
of course,
leaderboard
hardcore
i
leaderboards.
party
And then
leaderboard.
when you look at the
Czyli w
leaderboards,
kooperacji
you'll be
też.
able to filter them globally or by platform. You can filter by your friends or your clan.
So I know I'm
Będzie
better
tylko
than Brad.
filtry, może
Yeah.
więcej klan, przyjaciele. Będzie globalny, europejski
If you play
leaderboard
Barb, you
i tak dalej.
Ooh.
It's fair. Necros are better.
That's why we
all
have the
know it.
Barb leaderboard. So, you know, I mentioned that these leaderboards will reset every week, but the very best players from each week's leaderboard are going to be recorded in the
najlepszy
Hall of Ancients.
Gracz z
This
każdego
is a
tygodnia
permanent
z
leaderboard
leaderboardu.
that will cement their legacy. And you don't just have to be the very top ranking on the leaderboards to participate in the gauntlet. All World Tier 4 players will be able to take their shot at participating in the gauntlet and progressing to the leaderboard.
So that means you don't have to be level 100 to participate at all.
No, you don't. In fact, if you look at this wonderful
Nie będziecie musieli mieć
UI that we have up here, you can see
levelu
that as you're
setnego.
leveling up and competing in the gauntlet and getting higher and higher score, you'll earn these seals. And as you are earning these seals, you'll be able to climb up until eventually you get to the seal of the worthy, and then you'll be able to jump into the leaderboard. And you can show these off on your character profile in game.
Awesome. Very cool. And then I know with leaderboards that coming in season 3, with all the information that we've been sharing here, again, I'm just reminding everyone that you can end up checking all this out on the site afterwards. We'll have all the artwork up there. And of course, all the information that we provided even on the expansion stuff will end up being there. And I just want to remind everyone in the community that thanks to you guys and the feedback that we've actually gotten in for Diablo 4, we've been able to, we were able to get all these amazing changes in. So providing that feedback through our forums, through social media, through Reddit, wherever you post at.
Tutaj dziękuję wszystkim tym, którzy biorą udział w uniwersum Diablo i dziękuję za wysyłanie informacji, branie udziału i używanie feedbacku i tak dalej.
We did leave a question box out in Hall A, which is the Diablo Hall here at Blizzcon, and then of course we asked on social media for questions through our fans that could not attend Blizzcon, but we grabbed the ones that seem to be pretty regular repeats specifically. So we'll kind of just jump right in on them. The first question, I think this one would be good for Kaylee. Will there be more intermediate progression dungeons and bosses between Tier 4?
Czy będzie więcej bossów i
Yeah,
dungeonów?
so we had this question a bit, and the short answer is yes. We've already started doing this with the boss ladder, Uberdurial, and we're looking for even more opportunities with which to give everybody things to tackle as they're working their way towards Uber Lilith, as well as, things for people to pursue once they defeat Uber Lilith. So yes, and as we develop those, we will share more information, probably in more campfire chats or on Diablo4.com.
Awesome. Thank you, Kaylee. This one's an expansion question.
Okay.
So, Brent,
I tak,
I will
będzie
give this
Uber
over to
Lily
you. Will
też.
there be a season journey
Czyli
when
Ubery też wrócą
expansion
z dwójki, z
launches?
trójki.
Yeah, we know we have a large community with players who like to play in a bunch of different styles. So when Vessel of Hatred launches, we're going to have stuff for Eternal players. We're going to have seasonal content. We're going to have people who want to continue to play vanilla, people who want to jump into the expansion. Basically, we're going to have something for everybody to have fun with.
Cool. Thank you, Brent. Tiffany, this one for you. Will we have a system to save and switch between builds? A very popular question.
Very popular question.
So the reason Adam says this is a great question for me is because I ask Joe this all the time. It's something I'm also very, very passionate, myself and lots of the development team and lots of the community is very passionate about. So for those of you that play Diablo 3 are very familiar with the Armory. This is something that we brought to
Czy
the game
będziemy
in
jakiś
patch
system
2.5.
pomiędzy
And so
buildami i
we've been
save'owaniem, tak
talking
nie
about
do
it for a
końca
very long time. There's so
wiem, o co
many
chodzi.
different things, so many activities, there's so much room for activities in Sanctuary, and so many different things to be doing, whether you're playing by yourself, playing with a group, PvP, et cetera, et cetera. There's Paragon board customization, there's build customization, there's outfit customization, what gear you're wearing. So we want to be able to have an easy way to switch between those so you can keep playing and keep, min-maxing all of your experiences while you're in the game. So we have nothing to announce in terms of when it's coming, but it's something that we're talking about all the time and hoping to bring to Diablo 4 as soon as we possibly can.
Awesome. I know. It's
Czyli
a thing
możemy
that a lot
więcej
of,
powiedzieć,
a
co
lot of people in the community
nadchodzi
have been
na ten
asking
temat,
for.
ale
And,
nadchodzi coś z
being able
kustomizacją
to switch
postaci, innych
between,
takich
different
rzeczy i
builds and everything,
save'owanych,
have that
kustomizacji
saved. It's something
i
that
tak
the
dalej.
team most definitely is working on. Next question we have is from someone who's actually attending here at Blizzcon and is actually a content creator, was in our opening ceremony as well.
Opening
Was
reel.
from Don the Crown, and I think he actually made like a decision to come to Blizzcon like 24 hours before BlizzCon started.
So he could be here right now.
He could be here right
I just
now,
really wanted to ask this question.
yes, exactly. But I will say this question also came from a lot of people. But Don the Crown asked, do you intend to add more sources of living steel to the game?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that grinning demon, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He sucks.
Yeah.
No, it's, that particular summoning material, we've certainly heard and experienced doing Helltides feels much more stingy than the other summoning materials. And so we want to make some improvements there. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so expect improvements coming down the pipe for that. And by the way, I just want to thank everyone for not putting your names in the box because I would have completely screwed up half the names in there, as I normally do. So I appreciate people who do not put their names on there. You're the best. Last thing I need to do is butcher that in front of like 5,000 people. Will the expansion feature a group finder or global chats? As social features, I know we've heard a lot
Znaczy,
of
czy
questions
będzie
about
czat
Brent.
grupowy, czy
Yeah,
globalny?
social's a really big part of the game, and we see what everybody's doing with how they're leveraging trade chat to kind of work around some things. Our social team finds this incredibly important, right? Like, we got a lot of different ways to play the game, and we want to make sure that all of your communities can find each other and come together. And so we actually have to really get some tools in there to get to that point where everybody has a really smooth social experience. And so our goal is to make sure that we get as many of those tools in place before we actually get to the expansion.
Yeah, and I really want to make a special call out to, we have an entire part of our team who are focused on social and the player experience, and they are so dedicated and so enthusiastic and are just amazing people to work with, and they're paying attention to the things that everybody's talking about and need and trying to figure out the best plan to get those kind of things to you in the best time frame.
Awesome. Thank you, Brent. Thank you, Kaylee. And then we have a kind of a last question here. This is from Knox, wherever you are here at BlizzCon. What are your plans? There we go.
There he
We
is.
found him. What are your plans for itemization moving forward? A very, very popular question.
All right.
The
Well,
question.
The question.
The question for Joe Shelley.
Yes.
do we have a panel after this? Or? No, this is a very serious and important question, right? And while we're not
Czy
ready to
będzie
share all of the plans for
Większe
itemization that we have
rozwijanie
going forward. The team
itemów.
is working on the problems that we see with
Skill.
itemization right now, right? I think I was watching, was a Carbot video, I think, recently. And
Shout out to Carbot. Love his
you
anime.
get the character gets 2 items, and they're trying to compare it, and pulls out his sort of monocle, and he's going through it. It's too
Czyli
difficult right
trzymacie
now
w
to
planach
compare items. It takes a lot of
dalszą
time, and we want to make that better. We also
itemizację
there are some affixes that are very
itemów.
conditional or have several layers of conditionality. Sometimes this gets
Rozwój
shorthand
dalszych
for this
itemów.
is the damage on Tuesdays, right? Like, yeah, really good on. It's a couple days from now, it'll be incredible. But we think that there are too many of those that have really complicated conditional effects, and it's really hard to bring those into builds, and it contributes, as Kaylee was saying earlier, to a feeling of having it be very difficult to customize your items in a way that lets you get exactly the affixes that you want on your build.
Get
So that's
the field you're looking for, you know?
exactly. So that's something that we want to review. We also know that when you are optimizing your gear, the goal of that is to have the effect be that you feel that power. So you are customizing your gear, and then you go out and you want to be able to visually tell immediately, like, yeah, this made a difference, right? And then, of course, we also want to add more ways to modify items and add on additional complexity to items, sort of through, this is often talked about in the context of crafting, right? Better ways to modify items in that way, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know I'm going to throw another question at you, though, because there has been a lot of talk about the amount of aspects that are within the game. And so, you know, do we have any plans on what we like for aspects specifically?
Yeah, so it's going to take us a little bit of time to get this right. Probably won't see it in season 3, but soon after that. But we want to get the aspect crystals out of your inventory and into the Codex of Power.
Mamy zamiar przenieść aspekty z waszego inwentarza do
I'm glad.
jakiegoś tam
We're
Crystal Power
starting
czy
work on
jakoś
it right
tak.
now, so we'd have to go back. But no, the Codex of Power is really a great
Z
repository
inwentarza
of
do
all of the legendary
mamy
powers,
zamiar
or
przenieść
it
wasze
should be,
aspekty
we
z
think.
inwentarza
And
do
there are lots of opportunities for upgrading it or bringing affixes that you found, and we just really want to make that better. Yeah.
Great. That's awesome to hear. I know a lot of
aspektów
people are
mocy czy coś
excited
takiego,
to
żeby było
have
po prostu lepiej.
an area where all their aspects are, as opposed to, you know, where we are right now with collecting everything for aspects and having your inventory kind of running back to the stash and putting them all in there and everything. So there we have it for the Diablo 4 Campfire Chat. We do have a lot of awesome things coming down the road. And I do want to remind everyone that, you know, this Tuesday, we have an update with 5 new Malignant rings that will be hitting the game. You can farm Varshan to earn those rings specifically, and those rings are
We wtorek
eternal
będzie
and
update,
seasonal, which is
który
great to hear as
wprowadzi
well.
nowe
And then, of course,
pierścionki
on December 5th,
po
we
zabiciu
have our
Warszana.
abattoirs
Musimy
here.
to zaktualizować.
Google abattoir if you don't know what that is. I did.
It's a slaughterhouse.
It's a slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
Cultured Adam. And then we also have cultist updates hitting on December 5th. And of course, December 12th, we have our first holiday event hitting Diablo 4, which is Midwinter Blight, where players can actually end up
No i uwaga,
learning
mamy
a
bardzo
ton of
ważną
different,
nowość
new
i
cosmetics,
nowinkę,
adjust
będzie
your character up with
Halloweenowy
spells,
event w Diablo
wreaths,
4.
holly,
Get very
etc.
festive.
Exactly, get very festive. And I did want to remind everyone that we do have a Diablo Blood drive that is currently running. If you go to diablobloodharvest.com, currently the community is at 73% to the goal. Once we hit 100%,
Good job, everyone.
everyone gets some
Yeah.
rewards. Good job.
Great cause as well.
It's for an awesome cause. You know, we're aiming to have 666 quarts of blood
Of course
donated.
we are.
So of course, gotta stay with the theme. So make sure to check out the site for more information. Panelists, do you
We just
have
wanted
any
to
parting
say
words?
thank you for coming to Blizzcon and watching online. We love Diablo and we love you.
We love you too, thank you.
I can't wait to get back in front of everybody here and have more to talk about with the expansion in the future. So I look forward to seeing you all in Sanctuary.
You know, I just want to thank all of our passionate players, and you know, we listen to everything that you're saying, and it's been so awesome to reveal Season of Blood and be able to bring some of those changes back, and then to come here and to be able to tell you about all the things that are, more things that are coming in Season of Blood, and in future seasons, and in Vessel of Hatred.
Yeah, Drew. Yeah, I just want to say thank you everyone for making this an amazing experience to be up here. Also, hi Mom and Dad, surprise, yes, I'm on the panel. I didn't tell them. But I mostly want to call out our amazing team, who many of them are working here at Blizzcon, who you may have met down in Hall A, they're doing signing, and everyone who's actually still back at the office, or well, would be, it's the weekend, they're not working. But everyone across all the spaces that we have and across the team in general.
Awesome. And I just want to thank everyone here. Thank you guys, everyone here, everyone at home. We hope you guys have had a wonderful BlizzCon. We're so happy to have you here, and we hope you guys come see us.
Mój ulubiony panel dyskusyjny się niestety już skończył.
And we'll see you in the next Campfire Chat. We'll have more Campfire Chats this year. And have an amazing BlizzCon, everyone. Thank you so much. We'll see you in Sanctuary.
Thank you.
Blizzcon 2023 would like to thank our partners. Xbox, power your dreams. Omen, game life. HTC Vive Mars, virtual production made simple. Intel, push your gameplay beyond performance with 13th Gen Intel Core processors. Check out MSI's wide array of monitors, from Nobel Prize-winning quantum dot technology to 4K OLED panels. They've got you covered. And the beneficiary of BlizzCon's charity auction is Direct Relief.
No cóż, zapraszam Was do kolejnego odcinka z Blizzconu. Salut numer 1 Games. Żubiszek, robienie przycieczki, dostaliście mega dużo informacji o Diablo 4 dzisiaj. Na tym nie koniec. Następny odcinek kolejny, jeśli jeszcze zdołam, to Wam nagram. Na razie robimy przerwę. Trzymajcie się, cześć, czołem.